To emphasize the point that the firearms that were available to colonists weren't necessarily ones that were useful in military service during the Revolutionary War, this is a great example. This is an incredible fowling piece made in the Hudson Valley of New York in the early 18th century. It uses a combination of English-made parts stocked in America and finished right here in a style that is unique to the Hudson Valley, combining elements of English, Dutch, and American gun-making traditions. This particular weapon is quite interesting because on the top of the barrel it's engraved with its original owner's name, Cornelius Wynkoop, a Dutch family in the Hudson Valley of New York. And this weapon was made in the early 18th century, and this exact piece was included in Cornelius Wynkoop's will of 1739, where he gave it to his son, who was also named Cornelius Wynkoop. That Cornelius Wynkoop later served as a militia officer during the Revolutionary War. However, he probably didn't take this weapon into the field with him. This is an incredibly long weapon, designed not for military use, but for civilian use, for hunting, for fowling, that is, shooting game birds. And as such, it wouldn't have been useful, effective, or efficient as a military firearm, despite the fact that Cornelius would have owned it by the time of the Revolutionary War. Now, this sword, on the other hand, made by yet another Cornelius Wynkoop, who was a silversmith in New York, was made in the early 18th century, and while it was fairly old by the time of the Revolutionary War, a sword like this might still have been worn by an officer as a symbol of rank during that conflict, to show their status as an officer, not really being drawn necessarily in action. And so, even though it was old, a sword like this might have continued to have this symbolic value as part of the equipment of an officer, while a weapon like this, again from the early part of the 18th century, and still a very functional firearm by the time of the Revolution, but not one that would have been effective for military use during the conflict.